Hey guys, it is prom and it is wedding season and it is time for you crafty folks to make your own corsages. So I am going to walk through one design of a beautiful corsage and catch the link below if you want to make this exact design yourself. I've got some really fun, summery, bright colors ready for you, but feel free to change it up to make it perfect for yourself. Also, coming next week is another video with a matching boutonnière, so your partner can definitely match you in style. All right, let's go ahead and get started. For this design, we're gonna make 3 different pieces or flowers for this corsage. So we're gonna do a mini ranuncula, we're gonna do some mini chamomile daisies, and kind of like a rabbit's tail or kind of like a filler flower that's just gonna really accent and pull everything together. Let's go ahead and get started on the easy guy, the chamomile daisy. I've got 2 of these shapes, and be sure to check the description below for links to all of these shapes for a digital download so you can cut them out at home using freezer paper or your Silhouette Cameo or your Cricut Maker. So first things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some 22 gauge wire. All right, so the length on this doesn't quite matter because we'll probably trim it once we assemble. So give yourself a good little chunk of material to work with. This is probably what, a little under 4 inches. I'm just gonna cut 2 of them, 1 for each flower. We're gonna make a tiny little table with our wire. And then we're gonna poke each one straight in the middle of our flower. Next thing, we're gonna grab a 10mm felt ball. We're gonna cut this bad boy in half. Just do this very carefully because these balls are small, but they'll cut very easily. All right. So on one of your daisies, we're gonna throw just a little bit of glue right in the middle and put our half a ball right on top. We're gonna do the exact same thing on this guy. We're gonna take our small snip scissors and then we're gonna cut each petal to the base of our center. And then we're gonna apply just a teensy bit of glue on the bottom of our petal and just pinch it up and kind of over our center a little just to make a cute little petal. So we're gonna do this all the way around on both flowers. All right, so there is my 2 little chamomile daisies. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put these aside. Okay, for our next piece of our corsage is we're gonna do kind of like a stalk flower. It's more like a wildflower, just a long, skinny flower, and it's just a really perfect accent to kind of give it some real good depth and dimension on your corsage. So I've got 2 of these pieces here, and they're about 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, so you could cut this by hand just fine if you'd like and just make some scalloped bumps around it. This one has 10 little bumps on it, but you could do it a little bit different as well. Don't forget there is PDF stencils and stuff in the description if you want to just copy it perfectly. So for these, we're gonna go ahead and cut in half. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna give them a little bit of flair here. So we have all these bumps, but we don't want them to be perfect bumps. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually kind of cut away from them a little bit and just kind of put a little ziggy zaggies in them. Next thing we're gonna do is at each little valley here, we're gonna cut in. We're not going all the way to the bottom. We're going maybe like 1/4 of an inch up and doing kind of like a fanned shape like this. So we're gonna do the same thing on all of our pieces. Okay, so I've got these all cut out and we're gonna spice them up a little bit. So this is just a felt tip marker. These are Tombow markers and this is in yellow. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this. I have a piece of paper in here to kind of protect my mat here, but just at the end, I'm gonna just color it with some deeper yellow. And you wanna do both sides. You can do this before you cut it if you like, or whatever. You can use different materials, watercolor, pan pastels, so many different ways to dye your felt. But sometimes the Tombow markers are just super, super easy. Okay, so we have them all dyed, and we're gonna get another 22 gauge wire here. This one, I'm gonna be a little bit more generous with the amount I'm pulling off, just so, because it's a longer, stockier flower. So we need 4 pieces for each flower, so I'll put that aside. And all we're gonna do is we're going to put a little bit of glue right here, throw him here, and just kind of fold this over. And then we're gonna put more glue, and just kind of roll it down and make it just a nice little funky little floofer. I have a lot of very technical flower terms on here, like funky little floofer and whatnot, so, but that's what it is. That's what it's reminding me of right now. All right, we're gonna do it again, but on our second layer, we're gonna go a little bit further down and literally do the exact same thing. Make another funky little floofer, but lower. And do it again until we run out of pieces. And we're just gonna continue to go a little bit lower and lower to make a good little stock flower. Okay, so this is our little stock flower. All right, now we're gonna do our last focal point flower, which is gonna be a mini ranuncula. So you need a 15mm felt ball, and I have this in my green, and then we're gonna need, these are 1-inch circles, and I've got 2 in green, and then I've got 5 in, this is orange, and then we're gonna kind of gradiate it out, so it's gonna be darker to get lighter. So then I've cut out 6 of my tangerine, and these are 1.5 inch circles, and 5 of my sunshine, 1.5 circles. Okay, so we're gonna start with our green, and we're gonna go ahead and cut these in half. We're gonna put glue on 1/4 of it and kind of start wrapping our half petals around. Now I'm gonna do this a little tight here too and really overlap them. And then on our last one with our flap sticking out, we can now apply glue, and now it's just this seamless center. So we're gonna get these now, our smaller ones again, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut a small little bit out of the bottom, just a small little triangle. then we're applying a little bit of glue on one side and then fold it over to make a nice little dome shape. We are going to do the exact same thing on our larger circles as well. All right, so I've got all my pieces here, and now we're gonna start layering them on our ball base. So I'm putting glue right at that seam on the bottom and kind of just really wrapping it around. And I wanna space these out so I have one full layer going all the way around in the orange. So that is our center. Now we're gonna grab our next shade and kind of just put them around as well. And these ones I'm gonna go pretty tight too. Now if you wanted to make a bigger ranuncula, definitely add more petals. I'm trying to go for a smaller one because this is a corsage, so you definitely don't want to kind of overdo it. So for this last layer, I'm actually going a little bit deeper and fanning my petals out a little bit more. All right, let's go ahead and start building the actual corsage. I've got a few leaves that I've also cut out, and we're gonna use these as filler where needed. So I bought these off Amazon. You can find a link below. I really like these corsage bracelets because with the beads, they don't pinch and they don't overly tighten on your wrist like some of the elastic ones do, and they flow really well and they're just really comfortable. Sometimes the elastic ones can kind of dig into your skin a little bit, which is why I prefer the pearl ones, but that is up to you. You can make your own. There's a lot of tutorials out there on how to make these yourself too. So I'm getting a scrap piece of felt, and that's gonna match my leaves here as well. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a base for our corsage, for everything to sit on and just make it a little bit more comfortable. So what I like to do is I'm gonna flip this kind of upside down like this. So this is our bottom here. And we're gonna glue this piece on the bottom. And this is gonna lay on your wrist, and that's also gonna make it a little bit more comfortable and protect you from the jaggedy plastic edges. With it upside down, I'm gonna throw some glue on. And I made a rectangle for this space that is definitely bigger than what I need, but the plan is to trim it once it's on. So I've got that here. So this becomes our new base for our corsage. So now we're gonna go ahead and dry fit everything on here just to kind of figure out the placement and how we want it. So obviously this is our main flower. We're gonna probably put this guy right here. And then we're gonna get our other pieces. And again, obviously all of our stems are like way too long. And then we'll probably put him here. Kind of place this guy here too. Stems are kind of getting in our way, but that's okay. And then here, throw another daisy. Ah! Off to the side. And then we'll throw some leaves here too under the bottom. So, or we can sit there and play around. I'm actually I actually think I might like this better. I'm gonna go side, kind of mirror it. So it's kind of like long and skinny. I have a plan, I have an idea. This is why you dry fit everything before you do it, because you want to make sure that it's how you like it. How we're gonna start here is when we're dry fitting, this needs to be underneath the flower because we want it kind of tight. So we can start by gluing this down. And to make things easier, I'm gonna go ahead and trim all that wire off because now we know that's how much we need. So we want it about here. I'm gonna hold the wire, bend it up, and glue this down. I like to keep it on the plastic and less on the felt at the beginning. That way we can trim some of this off when we're done. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. Wire, lift it up, and bend it back down. So our flowers, we definitely needed this smaller too, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these right now. So this one, we're gonna put it on the side, and then this one kind of right next to it on the side as well. I want to make sure we still have enough room, so this one needs to kind of come out a little bit. Let's dry fit it again. Put this here. Do we like it here? So I've got this. I literally tried to position it several times before I like make up my mind. So the way I'm going to do this now is I'm going to just shove the flower in afterwards because that's the way it needs to be. So I'm going to apply a lot of glue down to the base of this flower. And we're gonna go ahead and plop it right here. So now we're gonna do this daisy. Ooh, and I got some glue, so that's perfect. We're just gonna do that. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a little glue on our petal and glue it down to that petal so that it just kind of stays real nice. And we're gonna do the same thing over here. Shoot some glue in there, put our petal, flower right here. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of this petal and just cinch it down. You also need to remember that this is gonna be on someone's wrist. There's gonna be a lot of movement. So you definitely wanna make sure you can tack things down where you need it. Okay, so now let's add some leaves. I'm gonna do a quick little pinch leaf on this. This. Real quick guys, if you want to make this at home, link in the description for PDF patterns that you can use on your Cricut Maker or Silhouette Cameo, or you can do PDF freezer paper stencil so that you can hand cut all of this and make it at home today. Link in the description. And then these, we're gonna kind of stick underneath here, coming out the sides. So, oh, that one caught some glue, which is great. So now we're gonna put some glue on this guy. Kind of shove that one in there too. Use my pliers a little bit and just make sure it's in there. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna go kind of like right in between these two. Do a little pinch leaf. And we're gonna put these guys in there. You can glue them ahead of time too and do it once if that's easier. I'll show you what that kind of looks like. And we'll just kind of layer these guys. And then get all the glue off your fingers. We kind of have like a little bit of an opening, and I'm gonna put some glue in there and shove these leaves in there as well. And this is the good thing about having everything on a wire too, is that you can definitely like move stuff around really, really easily too. Okay, so now we have kind of the shape here, and now we need to trim off all of this excess felt that we do not want anymore. So we're gonna move this out of our way. And I am just gonna literally make a nice round oval shape all the way around. Cutting off the elastic that's holding that on. Okay. Okay, so then what we have on the sides is just some like loopy gaps here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some glue on that and just fold it up into the base of our flowers, and that'll just kind of like hold everything together really well and sandwich it really well. So I'm gonna do that on all 4 sides with my extra felt. And just kind of pinch it in on the bottom. This just kind of cleans up the bottom, and it cleans up the sides, sandwiches everything well together, and makes it very comfortable when it's on your wrist. Let's do it over here. Okay, so another really great reason to have these on wires is now you can kind of like move and finagle them however you want. But throw this bad guy on and let me know what you guys think of this beautiful little ranunculus corsage. This would be perfect for prom, for weddings, for moms, for bridesmaids, for, you know, your grandmas, whatever you need. Ooh, these would be really fun for Mother's Day too, just to gift them to all the moms. How fun would that be to all have different little corsages to wear? I hope you liked joining me today making this super fun corsage. Let me know in the comments what you think and how you would change it up and what colors you were using for your wedding or prom coming up, and other ideas to wear corsages too.